Hello and welcome to this After Effects tutorial. Today we're gonna create this Hyperspace looping animation using Stardust plugin from superluminal.tv. Let's fire up After Effects and get started. First, let's create a new composition. Let's make it 1920 by 1080 pixels, 30 frames per second and 5 seconds. Then create a new solid. Go to Effects and Presets tab and look for Stardust plugin. Apply it to the layer. Let's dock the Stardust window and make it a bit bigger. And we're ready to go. As you can see, we got a simple point emitter that emits particles in all directions. The problem is the very first frame doesn't have anything. So we just have to move our solid one frame to the left and then extend it to the right as well, to the end of the composition. Okay, now let's change the emitter settings as follows. Let's set type of the emitter to box, particle speed to 0, and particles per second let's set to 15,000. Also, let's increase the size of our box to cover all the screen. For that, let's set size X to 1500, size Y 850, and size Z to 5000. This number is very important for looping of our composition. Also, let's change the emitting type to once. Okay, looks good. Now we can change the particle settings. Let's first change the particle life to 10 seconds, then open particle properties and change the size random to 80. Also, let's set particle feather to 50 and change the particle color to random from gradient. And in the gradient itself, let's set the colors to bright pink and bright blue, something like that. Also, let's change the transfer mode to screen. Looks good for now. Now we want to turn our particles into streaks. We can use Replica node in Stardust for that. So, let's grab the Replica node and attach it to our particle node. Let's head over to Replica node settings and change replicates to 5. Leave replicate type to as offset and change offset Z to 300. Also, let's set density to 15,000. Now we're getting something. Let's see how it looks at the full resolution. Our particles look a bit big, so let's make them smaller a bit. Head to particle settings and change the size to 3 pixels. Okay, we're getting somewhere. The next step is to create a new camera. In the camera settings window, set its type to one node camera and select 28mm preset. Okay. Now let's animate the camera movement. Head over to Camera Transform and change the Z position of the camera to 5000. Set a keyframe at the beginning of the composition and another one at the end, with Z position equal to 25,000. Move the keyframe on the last frame one frame to the right. That way we will get a seamless looping animation. Okay, now everything has disappeared. And that's because our camera have gone past all our particles. We need to get more particles. And the Replica node will help us in this once again. Let's grab another Replica node and attach it to the previous one. Set the settings of this new Replica node as follows. Replicates 8, offset Z 5000, and leave the density to 100. But now we have too much stuff going on the screen. So let's set particle fading. Head to Stardust render settings and set max fade to something like 6000. And set the max distance to 9000. Okay, this looks better. Let's check that we're indeed having a seamless loop. Let's scrub through and see how it looks. Okay, it is indeed a seamless loop. But now there are still too many particles. So let's go to the emitter and change particles per second to 10,000. Now this looks better, but I still don't like the position of some particles. So let's change it by changing the random seed in the emitter. Let's get something that looks really good. Okay, this one is nice. Maybe let's leave this one. Awesome. Now it's time to make our streaks more pretty. Create a new adjustment layer, and in the Effects and Presets tab, search for Glow effect and add Stylized Glow to the adjustment layer. Let's grab another one while we're at it. Turn off the second glow for now and set the glow radius of the first one to 50. Turn on the second glow and set its radius to 90. Let's play around a bit with the settings to get the look that we really want. The glow threshold influences how many colors we'll be getting. The higher it is, the more saturated the colors will be. So after some trial and error, here's what we're getting. Let's lower a glow intensity of the second glow to 0.5. And that looks good. I don't really like a solid black color of our background, so let's change that. Create a new black solid, and in the Effects and Presets tab, type in ramp. We need to add a gradient ramp to our new solid. Let's change the ramp shape to radial ramp, and let's change the position of the start of ramp to 540 by the y-axis. Let's swap the colors of the ramp and move the end of ramp a bit farther from the center to make the center part bigger. Also, let's change the start color to dark blue and change the blending mode of this layer to screen. Here's what we're getting right now. And for some finishing touches, let's add a slight vignette effect to our comp. Grab a new black solid and double-click on the ellipse tool to create a circular mask on it. Invert the mask and change its feather to something like 500 pixels. Also, let's lower the opacity of this layer to 60%. It's too dark right now. Let's lower the opacity further to 40% and change the feather to 200 pixels. Looks better now. Okay, and that's what we're getting right now. The only thing left is to render it out, and we're done. And here we have it. Leave a like if this tutorial was useful for you, and let me know what you think in the comments. Also, check out my Instagram page. link in the description. Stay creative, and I will see you in the next video.